Ethan had seen many strange worlds in his years as a human explorer, but nothing had prepared him for Varelia. From the ship's viewport, the planet glowed with colors he had never imagined. Emerald forests stretching for hundreds of kilometers, rivers that shimmered like molten silver under twin suns, and mountains that seemed to touch the sky. He had been sent here to investigate a derelict alien colony, long abandoned according to human intelligence reports. Yet as he landed his craft on a plateau overlooking a glowing valley, Ethan felt a strange mixture of awe and unease. Something about this place felt alive, as if the planet itself were watching him. He stepped off the landing pad, the soft hiss of the craft's doors sealing behind him. The air was thick, scented with alien flowers, yet breathable thanks to atmospheric compatibility protocols. Ethan activated his scanner, sweeping the area for life signs. It had been hours since any communication with the colony's central database, and he knew this silence could mean danger or opportunity. The first signs of life appeared not in the forest, but among the ruins. Ethan saw movement among the fractured buildings, something small, elegant, and humanoid. A figure stepped into the open, revealing an alien woman. She was taller than a human, with pale blue skin that reflected the sunlight and eyes that shone like molten gold. Her hair flowed down her back like liquid silver, and she moved with a grace that made Ethan momentarily forget the danger he might be in. "Human," she said, her voice melodic but firm. "Why are you here?" Ethan raised his hand slowly, showing he meant no harm. "I'm Captain Ethan. I come in peace. I'm here to explore, to learn about this colony and its people." The alien woman studied him for a long moment, her eyes scanning his body as if measuring his worth. "Few of your kind are brave enough to set foot here," she said finally. "Most flee before they even see the planet." "I'm Liara. You are alone?" "Yes," Ethan replied cautiously. "At least until I meet the inhabitants." He hesitated. "Are you the last of your kind?" Liara nodded, her expression heavy. "I am the last survivor. My people vanished long before your species reached this system. I remain to preserve our knowledge, to protect what is left of our civilization." Ethan felt a pang of sympathy. Humanity had fought wars and endured hardships, but Liara's loneliness was on a scale he had never known. "I can help," he said simply. "We can work together to survive here, and maybe even restore some of what was lost." For the first time, Liara smiled, though it was tinged with sadness. Perhaps we can." Their first challenge came sooner than expected. As they moved deeper into the colony, exploring the ruined buildings and shattered streets, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Ethan's scanner blared warnings of approaching creatures, large, predatory beings that had been lying in the shadows. Their scales glistened under the light, their claws scratching the stone as they advanced. Ethan drew his weapon while Liara raised her hands, chanting words he could not understand. Suddenly, energy tendrils shot from her palms, striking the creatures and forcing them back. Ethan was amazed not only by her power but by her skill. She did not merely attack. She anticipated, controlled, and subdued with precision. "Follow me," Liara shouted. Together they ran through the crumbling streets, dodging debris and leaping over obstacles. When they reached a central plaza, the creatures cornered them. Ethan's heart pounded, but he felt no fear, only determination. He fired at the nearest creature while Liara directed a wave of energy at the others. The creatures screeched and retreated into the shadows. Ethan looked at Liara, breathing heavily. "You saved my life," he said. She shook her head. "We saved each other. Alone, neither of us would have survived." From that moment, a bond began to form between them. They worked together to explore the colony, uncovering holographic records of Liara's people. They had been a peaceful race, brilliant in science and art, yet fragile in numbers. Their technology was advanced, but their population had dwindled due to a mysterious plague. As days passed, Ethan and Liara shared meals of synthesized food and fresh water, walking through alien gardens and studying the architecture that had once been magnificent. Liara explained the workings of her civilization with patience, and Ethan shared stories of humanity's resilience and spirit. He laughed when she attempted to mimic his human expressions, and she smiled when he marveled at her ability to manipulate energy. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, Liara spoke quietly. "Ethan, there is something I must ask you." Ethan tilted his head. "What is it?" Liara's golden eyes met his, serious and unflinching. My people are gone and I am alone. I wish for my species to continue. You are human, strong, adaptable. I wish for you to father a child with me. Ethan blinked, stunned. The words hung in the air, heavy with significance. He had encountered many alien species, many customs, but this was entirely different. You want me to? He asked, careful to keep his voice calm. You want a human child? Yes, Liara said softly. Not merely a child, but a symbol of hope. A life that carries the strengths of both our species. I have studied you, your kind. I see courage, compassion, and ingenuity. Together we could give life to something new, something neither species could create alone. Ethan thought about the offer, feeling a strange warmth inside. He had never imagined this, being part of something so monumental, bridging the gap between species, helping preserve life in a universe that often seemed indifferent. He smiled, not out of arrogance, but out of respect and understanding. I would be honored, he said finally. If this is truly what you wish, I accept. Liara's expression softened, relief and hope lighting her features. Then we must prepare. This child, it will require more than life. It will require trust, knowledge, and protection. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alert from Ethan's scanner. The derelict colony was not entirely dead. A network of automated defense systems had begun activating, sensing foreign life forms. Gates sealed, drones whirred to life, and the once silent colony erupted into controlled chaos. Ethan and Liara exchanged a quick glance. We need to move, Ethan said. These systems, if they see us as intruders, they won't hesitate. Together they navigated corridors of alien metal, dodging sentries and disabling traps with a combination of human improvisation and Liara's knowledge. At one point, a corridor collapsed behind them, forcing them to leap across a widening chasm. Liara's energy powers created a bridge of glowing light, and Ethan sprinted across, heart hammering. Finally, they reached the central archive, a massive chamber filled with holographic records and alien devices. Here Liara could access her people's knowledge safely. She began to interface with the systems, and Ethan watched in awe as history, culture, and science unfolded in glowing images around them. This is incredible, Ethan said. Your people were brilliant. Liara nodded, her eyes distant as she absorbed the memories. Yes, and now with your help we might survive. Perhaps together we can do what my species alone could not. Ethan stepped closer. We will, I promise you, Liara, will survive. We'll protect this knowledge, and your child, our child, will be safe. Liara looked at him, her expression softening further. I believe you, Ethan. I believe in humans. You are remarkable. The twin suns disappeared below the horizon, leaving the archive bathed in pale twilight. Outside, the bioluminescent rivers of Virelia glowed like liquid stars. Inside, two beings, human and alien, stood side by side, bound by trust, courage, and the promise of life yet to come. Yet even in this moment of fragile peace, the colony's defenses remained active, humming and watching. Danger had not disappeared, it had only shifted. Ethan knew the coming days would test them, their bond and the future of two species. But for now he allowed himself a small smile. They were together, and together they were strong. Liara placed a hand on his arm. Rest tonight, Ethan. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter. Not just for us, but for the future of two species. Ethan nodded. For the first time in a long time he felt hope, real hope. And as he gazed at Liara, he understood the truth of her words. Humanity had always survived through courage, ingenuity, and unity. Now on a distant alien world, that same spirit might give life to something even greater. And somewhere deep within the glowing ruins, the planet seemed to acknowledge them, a silent witness to the birth of a bond that could change the course of history. The first light of Virelia's twin suns filtered through the shattered windows of the central archive. Ethan awoke to the soft hum of the colony's energy systems, which had stabilized overnight but remained alert. Liara was already awake, standing before a holographic projection of her people's history, her golden eyes reflecting the glow of alien symbols. Good morning, Ethan said, his voice quiet.
Sleep well?
Liara turned to him, her expression softening. As well as one can sleep on a planet that watches you, she replied with a faint smile. We have much to do today, Ethan. The colony's defense systems are not fully dormant. We must secure them before they mistake us for intruders again. Ethan nodded, rubbing his eyes. I understand. What's the plan? Liara moved to a control panel, her fingers tracing glowing symbols. I will interface with the main network directly. I can shut down or redirect many of the automated defenses, but there are sections that respond only to physical presence. You will help me navigate those areas. Together, we can ensure no harm comes to us, or to the knowledge of my people. As they stepped into the labyrinth of corridors, Ethan could see the remnants of a once thriving civilization. The walls were etched with intricate patterns, some telling stories, others mathematical sequences far beyond human understanding. Liara paused frequently, reading and explaining what each symbol meant. Ethan listened intently, fascinated by her intelligence and dedication. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the halls. Ethan's scanner picked up a moving presence, one of the colony's defense drones. It hovered in the air, its multifaceted sensors scanning for anomalies. Ethan instinctively raised his weapon, but Liara placed a hand on his arm. Wait, she whispered. It recognizes me. My species' DNA is in the system. If I approach carefully, it will not attack. Ethan held his breath as Liara stepped forward. The drone paused, lights flickering as it scanned her. Then it hovered beside her, harmless. Ethan exhaled and moved forward, guiding them deeper into the core of the colony. Hours passed as they carefully deactivated traps, rerouted security protocols, and gathered knowledge from the archives. During brief moments of rest, Ethan and Liara shared stories. Ethan spoke of Earth, of humanity's wars, achievements, and the resilience that had allowed their species to survive countless hardships. Liara listened, fascinated by his description of human ingenuity and the emotional bonds that defined his world. In turn, Liara spoke of her civilization. She told Ethan of her people's achievements in science and energy manipulation, of the tragic plague that had wiped out most of her species, and of her determination to preserve what remained. Ethan found himself inspired not only by her knowledge but by her courage in the face of solitude and loss. As the sun rose higher in the sky, a sudden alarm pierced the silence. The colony's main AI had detected unusual activity in the outer sectors, triggering defense drones to converge on their position. Ethan and Liara exchanged a tense glance. We have no choice, Ethan said. We must move to the reactor chamber. From there, we can access the main AI and communicate directly. Maybe we can convince it we are not threats. Liara nodded, and together they navigated narrow corridors, dodging flying drones that patrolled with deadly precision. Ethan marveled at Liara's control over energy manipulation, which she used not only to defend but to guide them safely past hazards. When they reached the reactor chamber, Liara began interfacing with the AI. It will not listen to me alone, she said. It sees humans as unpredictable. You must speak for your kind. Ethan stepped forward, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. AI of Virelia, he said clearly. We are here to preserve your people's knowledge. We mean no harm. Liara is a survivor of your civilization, and I am a human explorer. Together we only wish to protect this colony and its legacy. The AI's sensors flickered, processing his words. For several tense moments nothing happened. Then a calm mechanical voice filled the chamber. Assessment complete. Threat level low. Humans may participate in preservation protocols under supervision. Ethan exhaled in relief. Liara smiled, her shoulders relaxing. It is done. The AI will no longer see us as intruders. We have a chance to secure the future of my people. With the AI's cooperation, they began cataloging and preserving the colony's knowledge. Ethan helped translate technical data into human-readable formats, while Liara ensured that nothing was lost or corrupted. They worked side by side, a seamless team of human ingenuity and alien mastery. As night fell, they paused to rest. Ethan looked at Liara, noticing a softness in her expression he had not seen before. Liara, he said quietly, about the child, the one you asked me to father. Liara turned, her golden eyes earnest. Yes, Ethan. I want you to know, he said, I accept fully. I understand the responsibility and I am ready, but I also want you to know that this is more than survival. It is hope, and I will do everything to protect that hope. Liara's lips curved into a gentle smile. Then we are aligned. Together, we will give life to a future neither of our species could achieve alone. In the following days, they continued to explore the colony, uncovering hidden chambers filled with scientific marvels. Ethan learned to operate alien devices, often combining his human intuition with Liara's precise instructions. They discovered plants with incredible healing properties, stored in laboratories that had been abandoned for centuries. Ethan realized that these discoveries could benefit humanity as well. Bridging the gap between worlds, one day, while examining a chamber of energy conduits, Ethan accidentally triggered a minor system overload. Sparks flew and the floor shook violently. Liara reacted instantly, her hands weaving streams of light that absorbed the energy and redirected it safely. Ethan stared at her, awe in his eyes. "You are incredible," he said, genuinely impressed. "Your control over this technology, it's like you were born to do this." Liara shook her head. "No, Ethan, I learned. My people taught me. But I could not have done this without you by my side. Your quick thinking saved us today." Their relationship deepened with each passing moment. They shared laughter, small victories, and even moments of quiet reflection. Ethan felt a sense of belonging he had never known among humans alone, and Liara discovered emotions she had never experienced in solitude: trust, companionship, and a budding love that transcended species. Then came the greatest challenge yet. A massive storm, generated by the planet's volatile weather patterns, threatened to destabilize the colony. Winds ripped through the corridors and energy surges activated dormant defense systems. Ethan and Liara worked tirelessly, stabilizing energy fields, securing loose structures, and protecting sensitive technology. Amidst the chaos, Ethan realized how much Liara had come to mean to him, not just as an ally but as a partner in every sense. He saw in her the embodiment of resilience and wisdom, qualities that humans admired in heroes but often lacked in themselves. Finally, as the storm subsided, they stood together in the central archive, drenched but unbroken. The colony's systems were intact, and the AI had fully recognized their cooperation. Ethan looked at Liara, his heart full of hope. "Liara," he said softly, "the future we spoke of, it begins now. Not tomorrow, not in some distant time, but today. Together we can create a life that bridges our worlds." Liara stepped closer, placing her hand on his chest. "I believe that, Ethan, and I trust you. We will face whatever comes together." Ethan smiled, a warmth spreading through him that had nothing to do with the planet's twin suns. "Then let's begin," he said. "For the child, for your people, for all of us." As they looked out over the glowing rivers and shimmering forests of Virelia, Ethan knew this was more than survival. This was the start of a new chapter, a union of human courage and alien intelligence. The legacy they would create together could shape the future of two species, and perhaps the galaxy itself. In that moment, on a distant alien world, humanity proved once again that courage, ingenuity, and compassion could change everything, and by his side Liara, the last of her kind, smiled, ready to give life to a new generation, a symbol of hope that neither species could achieve alone. The twin suns rose higher, casting light on a world that had once been silent, now alive with the promise of life, discovery, and unity. Ethan and Liara stood together side by side, knowing that whatever challenges awaited, they would face them as one. And somewhere deep within Virelia, the planet itself seemed to hum in approval, as if recognizing that a new era had begun, not for humans alone nor for aliens alone, but for both united in purpose, courage, and hope.